Oye, Yuri, how long has that guy been hanging there?
Yo no sé, amor. Maybe 12 hours?
Is he still alive? Check if he's breathing.
Ah, él está muerto. He's dead. He must have choked to death under that hood. Look at that boner.
Mierda, I told you the hood was too tight.
That's a big boner. I'm taking his pants off.
Yuri.
Ay, are you jealous of a corpse, bizcocho?
What the hell, Yuri?
Whoa, ooh. That guy cock stinks like shit. And he could have learned some grooming or something, but damn. It's like a chorizo that got rolled around in dog hair.
Will you help me cut him down already?
Or like somebody peeled a banana, covered it in butterscotch and, whoops, dropped it on the barbershop floor.
Yuri, knock it off.
Oh, it's starting to sag. Now it looks like a toucan that hasn't shaved for a month.
Amor, por favor, get your face out of there.
Is it really hard to make coca paste?
Hard? No, not at all. Basically, you need a solvent, a hole in the ground, and 2 to 5 people who don't mind stomping in kerosene for 5-6 hours a day.
Seriously?
Well, that's one way to do it. You line a hole with heavy plastic, mix the coca leaves with your solvent, then stomp on the damn things like you were making wine in Bordeaux. The real sophisticated cooks use a more complex recipe of chemicals, and they treat the coca leaves for a few days. It gives you more paste per pound than the traditional process. That's where hombres like El Emisario come in.
Because it gets more out of the coca leaves than most cooks.
Let me put it to you this way. El Emisario turns out 10 fucking tons of coca paste per week. I don't care how many leaves he's getting. That's more coca paste than anybody. Dude isn't a cocaine cook. He's a fucking chef. There's an Air Force colonel and a Delta operator sitting next to each other on a flight out of King Khalid.
Is this the one where the Delta operator skins the Air Force colonel and wears him like a suit?
What? No, different story.
Oh man, I love that one.
Anyway, they're both headed back home after a long deployment. The Delta guy's been out in the desert doing, Delta stuff, and he just wants to rack out for a while. But the Air Force colonel, he's on like his 8th espresso and he's feeling chatty. So the colonel says, "Hey, you want to play a game to pass the time? It's a great game, you'll love it. Here's how it works. I ask you a question. If you can't answer it, you pay me $5. Then you get to ask me a question. If I can't answer it, I pay you $500. The Delta guy sighs and thinks it over. Go ahead, he says. The colonel grins, What's the distance between Earth and Neptune, he says. The Delta operator thinks a minute. Finally, he frowns and reaches into his pocket and hands over $5. The Air Force guy, he grins. He figures he's going to take this Delta guy for all he's worth. Your turn. The operator looks him in the eye. He says, what goes up a hill on 4 legs but comes down again on 3? Then he lowers his head and he goes back to sleep. The colonel thinks and thinks. He gets out his smartphone and scours the internet for answers, but he can't find it. He calls up his buddies back in Saudi and asks them for help, but they can't find the answer either. Finally, the colonel admits defeat, pulls out $500, wakes up the Delta guy, and hands the money over. The operator pockets the money without a word and closes his eyes again. But the colonel just can't let it go. He wakes the Delta guy up. He says, I gotta know. What goes up a hill on 4 legs but comes down again on 3? The Delta guy stares at the colonel for a second. Then he reaches in his pocket, hands the colonel $5, and goes back to sleep. So an Army Ranger, a Recon Marine, a SEAL, and a Delta operator are sitting around a campfire. Here we go. The Ranger, being a Ranger, starts bragging about how tough he is. You think you guys are tough, he says. I've parachuted behind enemy lines, done a 50-mile night march, and killed a dozen terrorists with my bare hands. The Recon Marine is like, man, that ain't shit. I've landed on a beach in the dark, marched 60 miles without stopping, and killed 50 terrorists with my bare hands.
Marines can talk? I call bullshit.
Anyway, the SEAL is like, bitch, please. I've swam 70 miles from a submarine, landed on a beach, marched 80 miles without stopping, and then strangled a whole damn terrorist camp with my bare hands. The SEAL gives him all this big shit-eating grin and turns to the Delta operator. "Top that," he says. The Delta guy doesn't say a word. He just shakes his head and keeps on stirring the coals of the fire with his dick. Man, this place reminds me a little bit of home. Big river, lots of fishing boats. Shame to see it all just rotting away by the shore.
Makes you wonder what this place was like before the cartel showed up.
Fathers taking their sons out on the river before sunup, coming home with the catch in the evening. You keep a little for yourself, sell the rest. It won't make you rich, but it ain't a bad life. God knows I've seen worse.
You start singing, I'm gonna fucking smack you. Listen to this cartoon princess. About to burst into a song with a goddamn fish singing backup. Tourist. He must have gotten the Santa Blanca cocaine tour package.
Hey.
¿Cuánto es?
2 bolivianos.
I have a cousin in Baton Rouge. He's kind of a prepper, but I think he could have been one of these cartel cerebros.
He sits around thinking of ways to smuggle shit?
He don't smuggle exactly. He spends his weekends thinking up different places he can stash guns and cash around his house. You pull the lever on his easy chair, a goddamn Desert Eagle pops up between your legs.
Shit, I want that. When we get home, he's making me one of those.
This is one of those legal coca farms.
So, like, can we get some legal coca here? For the altitude?
For the altitude, yeah.
You're not having any coca. You know, first thing headquarters is gonna do when we get back home is make us piss in a cup.
But the altitude, it's getting hard to breathe.
Shut up.
Hey, be honest. Y'all ever tried it?
Tried what?
You know, cocaine. No.
Of course not.
Come on, man.
Yeah, me neither. How about you?
Officially? Hell no.
And off the record?
Twice, but just to see what it was like.
Hold up. You did it twice just to see what it was like?
Yeah, man, the first time I was too fucked up to remember, so I had to do it again. Alright, so there's these two soldiers.
Here we go.
Not again.
So there's these two soldiers. The first soldier asked the second, if you knew a nuclear bomb was about to go off in 5 minutes, what would you do with the rest of your life?
Disarm the bomb.
No, man, look, they can't disarm the bomb.
Why not?
Because it's a joke. So the first guy asked the second guy, what would you do with the last 5 minutes of your life? The second guy thinks a minute. He says, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die happy. So I'd fuck the first thing that moved. After another minute, the second soldier turns to the first and asks, how about you? What would you do with the last 5 minutes of your life? The first guy looks at the other soldier and says, me? I'd stand very, very still for 5 minutes. Come on, that's funny. close.
Pinche cabrón.
Pass, please!
Yo, cartel gunman. Over by the dump.
Looks like they're feeling it.
¡Ya está! Entrego las armas.
Only one way you're walking away from this alive.
¡Ya está!
I'll talk, all right? Just chill.
Hey, what is that quinoa stuff they grow around here?
It's like a grain, kind of. It's high in protein.
Is it good?
Oh, don't go there, man. My ex used to cook that crap all the time. It's rabbit food.
I'll eat vegetables. I'll have like a salad or something.
You can use it, like, instead of rice, you know? Like mix it with,
Instead of rice.
No, listen. You ever eat wood chips?
No.
Quinoa tastes the way you think wood chips would taste.
I think it's fine. In a tight spot, I'd probably eat wood chips, though.
Unidad bird approaching. Stay down.
Que se vienen los plomazos de Nesa, cabrón. A cantar y a celebrar. ¡Arriba la guerrilla!
Anniversary of my
Hang on,
abuela.
I'll drive.
And in honor of my grandma,
Let's
I
roll.
want to give a big shout out to all the women out there with mustaches. That's right, ladies. You know who you are. And I know we got more than a few down here in Latin America. Oh yeah, I know a lot of you wapas go to tons of trouble to bleach that shit, so you don't leave the house looking like some young cholo showing off his beach buzz. I appreciate female grooming just as much as the next guy. I mean, the worst is when you're going down south and there's just enough stubble down there for you to think that you're eating a cactus. But I want you to know that Perico can still appreciate a lady with a little soft and fuzzy under the nose. Like Frida Kahlo or something. It's a little detail, a signal that, you know, sometimes means the guapa is just plain hairy. But sometimes it means she's got a little more horsepower in the engine, you know what I mean? Or sometimes both. And it certainly highlights a few possible new meanings to the phrase mustache ride. Te amo, abuelita. This next jam was my grandma's favorite.
Those don't seem all that happy to see us.
Can you blame them? If a bunch of random folks walked into your neighborhood with guns, would you run up and hug them?
If they were as sexy as me, yeah.
The locals will be a lot happier once we start clearing out cartel strongholds.
I don't know. A lot of these people rely on the cartel for work, shelter, food, medicine, even religion.
Sucks to be us.
Hearts and minds, you know, hearts and minds. We make the cartel appear weak, resistance will come around.
Go with the news alert. They shooting old ladies out there. Rebels have gunned down Madre.
Anybody see the Forest Park game?
Shh, la, stop talking right now.
What the hell, man?
I swear to God, if any of you assholes spoils it.
It aired 2 weeks ago.
I know. Internet is slow as shit out here. I've been downloading it for days, so please, no spoilers.
No problem. You didn't miss anything, though. I mean, they lost by like 30 points.
The hell?
Who's messing with you? They won by 12.
Stop, please.
I'm sorry. Really. It was 17.
Oh my God.
Wasn't it rained out?
Screw you guys. What do you think El Sueño was like as a kid?
Probably pulled the wings off flies.
Burned ants with a magnifying glass.
tied cats over clotheslines.
Maybe he had a cocaine stand.
Junior achievement.
Who knows? Maybe he played violent video games.
I don't believe that shit, that video games make people violent.
So what does make people violent then?
Other people.
This fucker's gonna be pissed when he figures out we're the ones who ruined his operation.
I'm always surprised how personal folks take it when we go after them.
Folks do tend to be kind of attached to their lives.
But it's our job, right? I mean, this guy Elway, he gets so pissed when somebody insults his face, he shoots the guy. How do you think he'll feel that we fucked up his business?
He does seem the sensitive type. At least we ain't trying to kill him.